This is Cadillac Unscripted on 107.9 CDY. It's sponsored by Independent Bank. I am Rich Spicer. My co-host is Katie Huckle. And recently, there was the annual Cadillac Area Chamber of Commerce Awards dinner and ceremony.
Yes.
And both of the winners of the Spirit of Cadillac and the Citizen of the Year are with us this morning.
They are, and I'm smiling so hard that my face hurts because these are two amazing ladies, and they have given so much to Cadillac. So welcome, Donna Willis and Amy Gibbs.
Thank you for having us today.
Thank you.
So you were surprised. You're sitting in the audience, and the presenter stands up and starts describing a certain person, and in all the details start coming out. At what point, we'll start with Amy, did you know it was you?
When they said my name. I mean, you know, they read things, and you're actually, when two of the people who are going to talk about me got up to walk up there and hadn't said they were speaking, I was like, wait a minute.
When Flora Grundy walked up, I thought, okay, Amy knows. But you didn't know?
I mean, at that point, it's starting to click.
Okay.
Right, okay.
But before that, it was not.
Okay.
Okay. So how detailed, what did they start with? You know what I mean? Like, at what point were you like, okay, it's one of my best friends up there?
Yeah, so they started talking about this individual when they were doing Donna, because we're in a lot of the same circles. So they started talking about Donna, Deb Ballard and Doreen Lance, who are both great friends of mine as well, started talking and saying this individual, and she's involved in this, and she's involved in Rotary and in Habitat and in all these things. And I'm thinking, oh, a lot of those are good. And then they got to the point where, nope, not me, good.
Oh, my goodness. So when did you know, Donna?
For me, I knew it was somebody in my circle. I knew that because of who was presenting, which was Doreen Lance and Deb Ballard, who are in my circle. But again, like Amy's husband was there. So I thought it was Amy because mine was announced first. Amy's was announced second. So the whole time I thought it was Amy until they said this person has been through 5 conversions and has been in banking for 35 years. And in my head I went, well, that's not Amy. And then I went, oh, wait a minute. That's me. Oh my gosh, that is exactly what happened, because I was convinced it was her all the way up until that. Because again, we're in Oasis, we're in Habitat, we're in Rotary, we do a lot of the same things. Amy, I feel like I follow Amy all the time. So
right,
yeah,
right.
Mm-hmm. That's how I knew.
You decided not to speak. You were shocked and surprised. Tell us why.
I couldn't. I was so just shell-shocked at that it was me. And my husband was there, and I was seriously just so emotional. And so, I don't even know what, I was going through the motions at that point in time. And he's like, would you like to say a couple things? I was like, I don't know what I would say. I'm so sorry. And then I just made a beeline for my husband.
Yeah, right. Well, you know that saying, you say it best when you say nothing at all. There's something to be said for that, too.
And I was kind of weepy, you know what I mean? I just kept getting tears in my eyes and, welling up and stuff, because there's so many amazing people that precede me in this award, and you just don't think that it's you. You just, I still don't think that it's me when I actually wrote down all of the people today in preparation for this, just to have a thought about each one of them and they are still to this very minute making a difference. Mm-hmm. There's still so many of those
lifers
that are still making a difference in this community. And I'm like, how am I even close to being worthy of this?
Oh my God. I would say that is a similar theme with all recipients. These two ladies are servant leaders. You never did it for the recognition. Can you speak to that, Amy?
Yeah, so when Donna said that she looked at all the past people who had won the award, I did the same, and I'm like, no way. This is not, I'm not their caliber. I've been looking up to these people my whole life. I've been thinking they're awesome, and now I'm on that list, and still, right now I have goosebumps, because we all like to be appreciated for what we do, but I don't like the limelight. So for me to have to be that person, and I have with different positions I've held, but it's hard to accept the fact that you're honored. But I had to stop apologizing. I had someone say to me, Amy, stop. Don't divert. Accept it. So I just have to kind of take a step back and accept it. I am humbly grateful.
Oh, wow.
Your family was there, but was hidden from you, right? Until the very last minute.
Yes, they were. They were snuck in through the golf course entrance, and my back was to it. So my friends who knew kept looking to make sure I wasn't peeking out the back, which I had no clue, so I had no reason to peek. But when I walked up, and in that little alcove of Cadillac Grove is where my family was, and I didn't see them till I was there, and I was like, that's when I almost lost it. That's when I went, I was like, oh my gosh, it was real at that moment. So.
Your family, both families, I'm sure, were very proud. They're the ones that see how hard you're working. They're the ones that see you going to bed really late because something needs to get done, or all the meetings that both of you attend and lead and run, where you've taken your nonprofit is to the next level, Amy. And so what you don't realize, I don't think, that you're doing is that you're inspiring other people with your actions, not your words. People are looking back on, when I grow up, I want to be just like them.
Which is what we did, Donna, right? To all the people in the line before us on that list, because I can look at both lists and say, wow, they're pretty darn amazing. So I think it is a cycle, and I think that I'm happy to be part of the circle.
Have you come down? I mean, it didn't happen that long ago. So have you come off the high yet?
I would say yes. I did attend an event this weekend, and I said to my husband when I got home, I was like, it's like being a celebrity or something, because everybody is like, congratulations. And I'm just like, thank you. But again, I don't feel worthy, kind of, in a way. And so, coming down is kind of happening slowly. And then, like, who I call my mentor, my lifelong mentor, reached out to me last night, and that was super amazing. And he's like, you so deserve this. I knew you'd, the same thing. You'd go places and all that kind of stuff. So it's nice to reconnect in that as well.
Right. And he's like, I believed in you. And look at you now. Yeah. Look at you now. Yeah. Neither one of you are any going to settle down anytime soon. Neither one of you are going to say, this is the last chapter. It feels to me like you're just getting started. Did this inspire you to keep going?
It's exhausting sometimes. So, yes, we're going to both keep going because, I know I am. I can speak for myself. I still have a lot to do. I still have a lot of places to, be, and a lot of people to serve. And I am not going to be giving up anytime soon. It just makes me kind of think back on where I did make the difference, why I was recognized, and push more into that avenue of what I want to do.
Okay. What would you say, Donna, about?
I would say, I still have a lot left to do and a lot of life left to give to this community and people. Like, for me, it's not even just community, like come into unity, but it's more about breathing life into individual people, being an encourager, and then sharing that passion with them of what, in fact, that day I had lunch with a newer person that's coming to Cadillac, and she's like, hey, I want to pick your brain on what a few things I can do. And I'm like, sure, like, can you do lunch that day? And I do, like, I'm good at, like, sharing just not all the details of it. Well, then when I got to the event, I said to Beth, I'm like, I talked to somebody about Cadillac 101, leadership, but I don't do it any justice, so can you reach out to her? But I gave her, like, 4 things to do and thought that, that leadership 101, that's where you get everything in, like, a quick order, and what you have passion for and what you can do with that. So, definitely not. I feel like it's just going to change a little bit, like hone in on what you do have passion for.
Question for each of you. Have you learned to say no?
I learned to say no a couple jobs ago, only because I felt like I wasn't giving 100% to what I said yes to. So I wanted to step back, and of course, all the boards, it's an honor to be asked to be on a board, but you also have to have the passion to be present for that. And so I had to kind of learned to say no, pick and choose what was important both for me personally and for me professionally. And that's kind of where I try and choose my direction.
Okay.
It's funny you're asking that question because this year I entered into 2024 with let your yes be yes and let your no be no. Because so many times people will say yes and they want to say no. And then sometimes you say no and then you do yes. And both of those, like, just let it be. And then do it to the glory of the Lord and do it passionately and do it above all else. And then the rest of it is going to work out. When you, even if you feel like you don't want to do it, if it's something that you totally understand and you can do it and you can pull it off, then I say take a chance and do it because it's a bigger picture.
Right. I totally agree. Amy, you're someone who, whenever you're in the public eye or presenting or have media present, you like to be prepared. You like to have notes. You like to be organized. And so here,
none of that this time.
I'm covered in goosebumps because I know this woman, she does not like to be on the mic always, And tell us what went through your mind, and then tell us what you said.
At the event. So at first I was sitting there when they're reading and I'm kind of like starting to figure it out. I'm like, oh my gosh, you lied to me and you lied to me and you lied to me, because they all know I like to prepare and I wasn't able to prepare. So I didn't have a chance to prepare mentally, but I think when you live the life that you live, it comes out naturally. And so when they asked me to speak, I don't even know what I said, honestly, but I just said something.
It was amazing.
It was perfect for for that occasion. It was.
From the heart, I'm sure.
Yeah, it was from the heart because I didn't have a chance to prepare, because I do struggle with public speaking. I mean, Katie, how many interviews and how many different things have we been involved in? I'm like, nope, you're the talker, or I'm not going to be on the mic, or, what do I have to say because I got to read it and I got to prepare. So I'm getting a little bit better with that in my job, but it's still a struggle for me.
No one would know that.
And really, that's what this show is all about. Katie and I have a rule that I've violated a couple of times, but I'm sorry, that we don't talk ahead of time up to our guests because we want everyone's reaction to be genuine and honest. Mm-hmm. So that's what we got out of both of you that night.
Rich, do you remember the other times I've come here with a sheet and handed it to you on stats so you could... This time I couldn't do that, so here I am.
And you have no paper today.
I don't.
Nothing.
Nope. Nothing.
Yeah.
On your list, because I know both of you have them, what haven't you done?
Oh,
what's left?
Wow, what a question.
Donna, you got that one?
I do. I have that one. So, in fact, I shared this with the newer person because I shared something that I haven't done yet, but I fully intend to do. And it was the Cadillac Garden Club, and how you go down and you keep the fountain cleaned, and then you go to the sound garden and you keep that beautiful, and just the work that I believe will come from that, like the fruit of that work is going to be so rewarding. But I told her I haven't gotten to that season yet to where I believe I can genuinely enjoy that and pour into it and believe for it and be committed to it. So that's my next one, the Cadillac Garden Club.
And that is interesting because about a year or a year and a half ago, we had Judy Liptak on with us from the Garden Club. Yes. And she said, we're a bunch of older ladies, and before you know it, we're not going to be here anymore.
She was concerned.
We need new blood. So there you go.
Yes, that I'd forgotten all about that. Mm-hmm. She did. She said she didn't say we're a dying breed, but she said we need momentum. We need younger folks to take over.
Well, I'm sharing it all the time. I mean, my flower lady's in there now too, because I say that. Like, I aspire to be in the Cadillac Garden Club, and I will be someday. It's just not right now.
Right. How about you?
So for me, I think it's more of I need to get a better work-life balance. Like, my family balance is work right now. So Thank God that I have a supporting family. I want to be able to learn how to turn off a minute so that I can be present also at home with my family. My mom is, still here. We're very fortunate to have her. I just want to make sure that I'm spending the time with the people that I need to spend the time with so I don't have regrets later. And that will come. I know it will. I'm more comfortable now where I am in my job. I feel like we're growing, so we're hiring some people there. I just feel like I'll be able to maybe share some of that so I can be present at home more.
When I found out that you won, I'm going to get choked up here. My first thought was about your dad and what he would have said and what he would have thought. He was already so proud of you.
Yeah. So I did drive up there
Did
and
ya?
talk to him about it. And I had a little conversation, and I told him how much I missed him, because every single day I miss him. And thanks, Katie. Sorry. It's he was a special guy. He was my go-to. He was, and when I lost him, I really lost a big part of that always acceptance, always being present. So I need to aspire to that a little bit more.
Amy, do you still watch that video that was made in our class?
Oh my gosh, you sent me that video a couple months ago.
I did. So here's the story, Katie. So Anna Reddick was a student in our class. This is Sean's daughter.
Okay.
And we did a video that started with the seniors coming to our class from the senior center to work with our kids to learn how to use their electronic devices. And your dad came in and said, I want to do a rap video.
What?
And he came in wearing chains and a backwards hat. And what's your mom's name?
Shirley.
He and Shirley did this rap video.
I've got to see this.
They were so proud of that. They did it for Eric's kids, my brother Eric. They were at that age, and they wanted to do this video. And when you sent that to me, I sent it to all of my family. We were laughing, crying when we were watching it, because it is definitely a keepsake for sure.
And it really speaks to what an amazing set of parents you had.
Yeah.
Because they were all about having fun.
Yeah.
That was about having fun.
Yeah.
And they treated everybody like their kid.
Yeah.
Everybody was welcome in their home.
I'll have to show it to you, Katie.
Okay, I
It's
can't wait to
amazing.
see it. So, and Donna, I don't know if you know that you do this because it's part of your job function, but so much of your job function rolls over into nonprofit work. You're with an organization that is super strong when it comes to community reinvestment and encouraging employees to dig deep in their towns, get involved and help. Someone I'm very close to, Donna, wrote her first car loan, and she was scared because she wanted to be independent, and she didn't want to have a cosigner. And so she went in to see Donna thinking, I'm going to need a cosigner. And by the time she left Donna's office, she'd been approved for her first car without a cosigner. And I don't think you know how much you empower people when you meet with them and do their loans and handle their accounts and all that kind of stuff. You help them become financially responsible and independent without even knowing that.
Right. Yeah, I would say that we know and we don't know, like day to day. And I say that all the time. I try to make change one person at a time, one relationship at a time, one good decision at a time, and then just build on that momentum. And if every single one of us is doing that, imagine what Cadillac is. And I do take it very, very seriously. I want to have people be successful in life, not just today, but tomorrow and the next day and the next day, and really equipping them with the best knowledge that I have and share with them. It's just going to ricochet and make that whole pond effect, like the rock on the pond, where it just goes out and it goes out and it goes further out. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, I love helping people. I love them getting their first car loan, their first house, their first checking. And it starts with, the checking account, building that momentum, like we say. Mm-hmm. It really starts with getting your money and then paying your bills. Like you have to start in that fundamental thing. Yep. Make sure your obligations are paid, and then the rest of it have fun with. But also have fun. And let's face it, we live here. These are my friends and my family and all the people that I enjoy spending time with. So of course I want them to be successful 10, 20, 30 years down the road.
Right. What did Steve say? He obviously knew about the award. You get all done with the evening and you're riding home. What did he say?
So I said this, without him, none of this would be possible, I don't think, because he is my rock at home. Like, he really does pick up a lot of of the slack, if you will. Like, and as it relates to us, you know, between our puppies and our kids and grandkids, and he does a lot of that himself. But he gets weepy too, and he's like, I'm just so proud of you. And
Wow.
yeah. So that's another reason why I was so weepy, is because when I looked at him, he was already crying. Yeah.
Because he knows how hard you work.
Probably, yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, he's like my biggest cheerleader. He honestly is. He's completely opposite than me, though. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, I get my energy from people. I get my energy in that regard, and he doesn't really. He's more of a one-on-one person, but he's totally going to support every single thing that, you know, he believes in it too. He knows it makes a difference. So,
Right.
yeah.
You know, some spouses would be resentful of your time and commitment to others. And so what a gift you have in
Yeah,
Steve.
not at all. Not at all. He is an amazing gift. Yeah, God brought us together, and he couldn't have picked it better. Yeah.
Awesome. Gonna get choked up again, Rich.
Yeah, and it's interesting, Donna, because my wife and I pretty much have the same, because I invited her to this because we had an extra ticket, and she said, that's your kind of thing. I am not, I just am not into that kind of thing. So,
You know, Dolly Parton's husband is that way.
yes, exactly.
Dolly Parton's husband is that way.
Yeah,
He's
I
like,
never
you,
hardly ever see him.
you shine, you go. They met at a laundromat. You can't make this stuff up. And here they are all these years later, still married. He does not want the limelight at all. But, you know,
He supports her.
That's right.
And that's exactly what it, you know, whatever. That's what it's about. I mean, and the compliment to each other.
Right.
You know? Yeah.
I really believe, like Donna said, that it does take not the same personalities to be successful, because my husband is like a Dolly Parton husband. He does. I was shocked. I mean, that was like, why are you going tonight? There's an extra ticket. I mean, he wanted to go, and I was like, why? Because every other time I'm like, come on, please, I want you there. Fine, I'll go. But this time he said yes, he'd go on the first ask, which was a little surprising, but still, I just let that go. And it's funny because we had a conversation in the car on Saturday night, and we were going to have a date night, and of course I invited someone else to go along with us. And first question was like, you know, why do I always do that? And he's like, well, maybe you don't like me. And he laughed. And then he says, I think it's because you need people. And I do. I need people. I need to be around people. They're my energy. And I just enjoy to be around people.
What did your children say?
So Katie, our daughter, has always been under tow everything I've been to. I mean, I remember when she was 4, she was on the front page of the paper because she had been down helping clean up the greenway for the Rotary Club. And every event I go to, she's always a part of it. And so she is a mini me. She is now married and has her own children and is a teacher and is second-year teacher, and she's doing Girls on the Run coaching, and she's looking at different things to get herself involved. So I'm so proud of her. So it's not as much as what she says to me, it's what she does.
Right.
And so I see her servant heart already showing. You know, my kids they've seen it. They've seen what I've done, and they're all just really proud. They all couldn't be there. One's in Texas and one is in Lansing, but the other two who are close were here, and it was just really special to have them both here.
Awesome.
How
Donna.
about you, Donna?
Yeah.
So for me, I have like 2 little tiny dogs who definitely appreciate me. But so I have my stepkids, right? Like, and they're older and they're really busy. Like, they work really hard. They work long hours. We're super proud of them. But as far as like how they felt impacted, I don't necessarily know that they would know that. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. The lady that you went to lunch with that said, you know, how do I get involved?
Yes.
What would you tell, let's say, someone just out of school, and they want to be successful, and they want to be a leader, and they want to be a mover and a shaker in the community? How would you tell that person to get started with that?
The first thing is Cadillac leadership. Honestly, that's where you can learn. It's almost, I call it Cadillac 101. You learn every single month. You visit a different thing that the chamber does all the work. You're just like going along, and you're getting all the wisdom from all these people in the years that they've been doing this.
What year did you do
I
Cadillac
did
leadership,
Cadillac
Donna?
leadership. I was the one. So when we met, it was 9/11.
Okay.
So that happened right during that time. But those people that you meet there, you become connected with your core class. And then all the things that you do, you have a government day, you have a manufacturing day, you have a
Media
law
day.
enforcement day, judge. We met the judges. I mean, it's so much that you couldn't possibly do that. You couldn't learn that much that quickly without a function of that. So that was the first thing I told her. And then I told her like 3 other things, but they're more like committees. Like, what do you enjoy? What do you have passion for? Is it animals? Is it, the Humane Society? Is it the garden club? Is it I don't know, habitat, like helping people, which habitat naturally felt natural for me because of being in the lending world. So I was on that forever. And then, but what do you enjoy? Do you like Power of the Purse? Like, that's a women's event. Do you enjoy women? Oasis, another women's thing. So I kind of told her that to just be thinking, and I gave her like 3 different things to do. Yeah.
It's so important that we, those of us that love to volunteer and be involved in the community, are mentoring and coaching younger women. Can you speak to that?
I was just going to say, I started my servant leadership in Cadillac with Oasis because it had been something that I had heard stories from my mom about her father who went to the war, came back and had alcohol issues and abuse issues. And so as a child, she grew up in that, and it broke my heart. And so I was asked to be on that board because I was a new business owner. And I said yes, because that was where I felt my passion was. And I was on that for years, right, Katie? We did lots of stuff with Oasis. And it will always be like my stepping stone into the nonprofit world. Great organization. I think that key is passion. Like, everyone has something they like to do. And there's always somewhere in the community that needs help doing it. So just find that one passion and start there. I feel like if you have the passion, it will be easy for you to make a difference. Yeah.
You mentioned some names in here: Doreen Lance, Deb Ballard, the 2 of you. And there's another common factor with all these women that you've mentioned is they are cheerleaders for other women.
Absolutely.
And Todd Golnick is a very close friend of mine, and he has a saying, your success doesn't make me a failure, and your failure doesn't make me a success. And I watch you guys and some of these other gals that are also, I consider dear friends, and I would say everybody is cheering on, their cohort, their peers.
Yes.
And standing behind him going, I'm so lucky to be friends with this person. They're amazing.
I am so thankful for the friends that I have. I definitely put myself with people that lift me up, that cheer me up, and I do the same. Like, if there's someone that comes along and they're a little bit of a downer, I'm like, okay, see ya. And I will gravitate towards the people that are more positive. I think that's definitely a success. I see Donna being, every day you see her, she's got a cute little smile and she's always happy. So, of course, I pick to be around those kind of people.
What would you say?
So I'm going to borrow some wisdom from my pastor who says this: you are some of the 5 people around you, and you are the sum of the 5 people around you. Choose your 5 wisely.
Wow.
That's pretty profound.
It's
simple but profound.
He said that, I don't even know, probably 10 years ago, and I really do aspire, although we're all called to share burdens, share goods, share it all. But really, you have to have 5 really critical people that you can safely go to, and make those 5 really, really solid relationships.
Incredible. I agree. My Pilates instructor is an Aussie, and she'll say, be around people who have what you want. And she's not talking about material things. And so I look at some of my best friends, Sally Goggin, Patty Bain Tomzak, who's a gal from the Freeland area, now in Indian River. These are people who, even into their 60s and 70s, are still making it rain. They're enjoying life. They're loving life. They're strong women of strong faith, women of strong conviction, somebody who's got your back no matter what. And I think we've got a studio full of those kind of people today.
We sure do. And we congratulate both of you on these honors. Well deserved.
Well deserved. So, Citizen of the Year and Spirit of the Community, Amy Gibbs and Donna Willis. Congratulations.
Thank you both so much for all you do for our community.
More local chat next week, sponsored by Independent Bank on Cadillac Unscripted on 107.9 CDY.